roadmap, career roadmap, if they learn this course. So these are the normal queries that people ask me at the end of the session. So I'm just discussing it before itself so that you will be clear about all these queries. So the most frequent asked question to me during the sessions are what are the prerequisites to learn SAP HANA? So to learn SAP HANA, the main and foremost important technology that you need to learn is nothing. You don't need to learn anything. You don't need to have a knowledge on SAP, any other SAP technologies like BW, BO or BODS or whatever. So you don't require anything. You just need to have knowledge, basic knowledge on SQL. That's it. You should have a basic knowledge on SQL. So I'm saying the basic knowledge. You don't need to be expertise in SQL, but you should have a basic knowledge like how to write SQL statements like select statement. So that's more than enough. Okay, so that is what the main prerequisite to learn SAP HANA. Many people have a wrong perception like to learn SAP HANA they should have a strong knowledge on BW or BO or BODS. No, to learn SAP HANA you don't require any technological knowledge of SAP. That because it's completely related to the database. So it's like other databases. Other than database technology, it has many things. So to learn this technology, you don't require any SAP knowledge, any other knowledge in SAP. So might be thinking like they don't have knowledge on programming languages like ABAP. So can those people can make career in SAP HANA? Absolutely. So to learn SAP HANA, to work with SAP HANA, you are not at all going to use any single line of ABAP code. So people may be thinking that since it is a SAP technology, ABAP is mandatory to learn all the SAP technologies. But here it's not. So to learn SAP HANA, you don't require any ABAP knowledge. You are not going to write a single ABAP code in SAP HANA. Okay. So even to learn SAP HANA, you don't require any additional knowledge to learn BW, or many people think that it's mainly for the BW people. No, no, it's not at all related to the BW people, BW consultants. It's purely a different technology. Anyone can learn this. Even people with a varied backgrounds like other non-SAP technology people can also make career here. Like if you are very strong knowledge in scripting side, so people actually we do develop applications on top of HANA. So people with HANA plus other technologies also have a weightage in the market. That's what I want to say here. And from where to start learning SAP HANA? This is the most frequently asked question. So this is my headache. You don't need to worry about it. So in this entire course of training, I will be taking you through the required content and the required documents. What are the documents to refer? That is my headache. I will be providing you the roadmap for that. So how to get access to the cost-effective HANA server? So since this is online training, you may be worried about the access. Yeah, so the access also provided to you. It's a 24/7 access. It's a remote desktop access. At any point of time, you can log in from home or you can log in from your office or anywhere. So you can practice it. So the certifications. So in this course of training, we will be providing the guidance for the certification as well. If someone is looking for the certification, yes, I will be providing you the guidance for the certification as well. And the most important question that people ask me is, what is a career roadmap? You are spending time on this, you are spending money, you are spending your energy. So what would be the return on investment at the end of the course? Yeah, so if you are investing something, obviously we expect a return on investment, right? So what would I get if I learn SAP HANA? Yeah. So currently the SAP HANA consultant have the highly paid consultant compared to any other technologies within SAP or outside SAP. Yeah, definitely you will be having a upper hand in SAP HANA in terms of improving your package or career, whatever. Yeah. So there are mainly two types of roles are there to work with SAP HANA. One is administrator, other one is a developer. So this training is for the developer training. It's not for the administration training. If someone is looking for the administration training, this is not. This is purely development training. So there are two types of roles are there. One is a developer, other one is a administrator. Okay. So these are the basic information about SAP HANA. I hope by this time many people have joined. Yeah. Let me start off with the main course demo. I just muted everyone just to avoid the noise from the background. If any one of you want to speak, you can unmute yourself and speak to me. Okay. Or you can use a window chat as well. Chat window here to ask any queries. Okay. Yeah. Let me start off with the main demo. If you say SAP HANA has become the fastest growing software product in the world. So this product has become very popular nowadays. SAP technology, within SAP technology, all the SAP modules are integrating with this SAP HANA. There are more than 50,000 customers are there for SAP. All the customers should be using this SAP HANA going forward. So there will be huge demand for SAP HANA. So far very limited customers are migrated to SAP HANA. So there would be all the customers would be migrating to SAP HANA. So you can imagine how much requirement, how much demand would be there for this technology. Yeah, let's start off with the basic details about SAP HANA. So what do you mean by SAP HANA? What do you mean by SAP HANA? So when I ask this question in the corporate trainings or online or classroom trainings, people give a different answers. Some people say it's a database. Some people say no, it's a software. Some people say it's a desktop or it's a server, or some different answers I used to get. But what exactly HANA means? What exactly the HANA means? The HANA is actually it's a database. Is it just a database? No. It's an in-memory database. Unlike Oracle DB2 or MaxDB or any other databases, so HANA is an in-memory database. The name I'm stressing here, in-memory. So what is in-memory? I'll come to that point. So HANA is first of all, it's an in-memory database. If you say some other applications like BW or CRM or ECC or SEM, these are the modules or servers or systems. Different applications or different purpose are there. But when you talk about especially SAP HANA, it's a database. It's just not a database, it's an in-memory database. Is it limited to only a database? No. It's not only an in-memory database. Apart from that, it has a set of software components as well as a hardware structure. Multi-core architecture it has. So altogether, we can call HANA as an appliance. Altogether, we can call HANA as an appliance. So when I say application, when I say appliance, there is a difference. When I say, for example, Microsoft PPT or Notepad or WordPad, these are the applications. But HANA I'm not calling as an application, but rather I'm calling it as an appliance. So why I'm calling this as appliance? Because HANA is not just limited to one particular task. It has a database, it's a memory database, it has a set of software components too. We can develop applications on top of HANA. We can use it as a platform to develop the applications. It has its own hardware structure as well. So altogether there are so many features are there, so it can act as a server as well. So that's why we are calling it as a appliance. So if someone asks you in the interview or somewhere what is HANA, don't say it's a database. Actually it is an appliance. The abbreviation itself, we are calling it as a high performance analytic appliance. High performance analytic appliance. So the name appliance stands for here many things. Those many things are here is it's a database, it's a software, it's a hardware, it's a platform, or it's many things. It has many things to do. So you can do application, you can create applications on top of HANA. You can do modeling in HANA like BW system. It's a database to hold the tables and models that you create, and it has many things, many features. So that's the reason why we are calling it as a appliance but not the application. That is what about HANA. So what is HANA means? It's an appliance. It contains a database, in-memory database. It has a set of software components and it comes up with along with the hardware. So why I'm calling it as it comes up along with the hardware, because it's not like you install your Oracle or any other database in your local laptop or desktop. It's not like that. HANA cannot be installed in your local machines. The HANA can be installed only with a dedicated hardware structure that comes along with the hardware partners. The hardware partners will be provided that hardware. Not every system can capable of installing this SAP HANA. SAP HANA comes with a hardware structure along with it. So that's the reason why we are calling it as a appliance. The next important thing that people ask when you go interview or somewhere, even in general in your mind, why exactly HANA is required for the business, right? So why do I require this? Why a business require HANA? If I say BW system, yeah, BW system is an analytical system where the business will do modeling and create a reporting on top of it. Okay, so if I say ERP system where the entire enterprise resource planning will be done there, so that I need a ERP system. If I say SAP BO, it's a reporting tool, so that to see the data in a proper format, so I need a reporting tools. Like why I need a SAP HANA? In a business perspective, in a business point of view, if a customer thinks why SAP HANA is required for the business, the answers are different here for the different industries. Let's take one industry called retail-based industry. In the retail-based industry, I'm taking example as a Walmart. It's a Fortune first company, Fortune 500, out of Fortune 500 is first ranked company, Walmart. So Walmart generates lots of data every day. It could be trillions of data everyday basis. Now they are generating lots of data, but at the same time, is there is any mechanism to actually use the data in a meaningful way? Yes, there are a lot many tools are there, lot many systems are there, analytical systems, they can use that. But what is the drawback of using those systems or tools? The drawback here is dealing with a huge set of data. Any other systems in the current scenario, be it SAP systems like BW or any other analytical system, non-SAP system, they are not designed to deal with the trillions and billions of data. Of course, they can deal that, but it takes long time. It takes very long time. But business is not happy with that. If you are losing $1 million today, is it okay for the business to know about it in the next week or next month? No, no one accepts it. It means they need a system which can process the data at very high rate. Even be it a billions of data or trillions of data in the database, they need some database, they need some system to process the data at very faster performance. So at the same time, business is looking for the real-time data access. The business is looking for real-time data access. What do you mean by real-time data access? It means the business's transactions are running in your business. To see those transactional information in the form of a reports, the business has to wait for some time. It could be one day, it could be 2 days, it could be 1 week also, depending on the data availability. So it means business is waiting for the data to see in the reports. So this was the bottleneck for the business. Now what business expectations are? Business need a real-time data in the reports. So something happening in their business, immediately they want to see that in the reports. Last 1 hour, what is my sales status? The Walmart CEO want to see in the entire globe, what is my sales status today at this particular point of time. So is it possible with the traditional systems? No. So why? Because Walmart generates trillions of data every day. Even ITC generates trillions of data every day. So it is not possible to deal with such kind of data in a meaningful way with the traditional systems. So business is looking for a system which can deal with the billions and trillions of data processing within fraction of milliseconds or minutes or so with a minimal time. At the same time, they need access to the real-time data. So the answer for all these queries is HANA. So SAP come up with a product called SAP HANA, which is capable of dealing with the real-time data and which can process huge set of data with a minimal time, and within the fraction of seconds or milliseconds, it can process the data. So it is 3600 times faster than any other analytical system in the market. So when I say 3600 times faster than any other analytical system, there is a question in your mind: how can it is giving that much faster performance? Why not other databases like Oracle or MaxDB or any other databases are not giving? So the answers for these questions are HANA capability. The next question, next topic that I'm going to discuss here is HANA capabilities. So I discussed what is HANA and why HANA is required for the business. The next query is the HANA capabilities. So what are the different capabilities of HANA to give the best performance, that is 3600 times faster than any another analytical product in the market? So let's discuss one by one, that is in-memory computing. So when I say in-memory computing, so many people think that in-memory computing means it's a kind of processing of data. Yes, that's absolutely correct. But what is the mechanism? How it differs from the other kind of processings? Yeah, when I say in-memory computing, the processing of data in the main memory, that is nothing but RAM. So the processing of data in the main memory is called in-memory computing. So what it makes difference when I process the data directly in the RAM or picking the data from the hard disk? Yeah. So RAM is 1 lakh times faster than your hard disk. RAM is a chip-based memory. You're keeping entire data in the RAM rather than picking the data from the hard disk. You're keeping the data in the RAM. When a user files a query for data processing, the data processing happens in the RAM, but not picking the data from the hard disk, because since you are avoiding transfer of data from the hard disk to the RAM, it takes very less time to process the data, right? So that's why when you are computing the data in the main memory, it takes very less time to process the data. If you see this picture, in the traditional system, what happens when a user files a query for the data resides in the database, right? The database is nothing but here your hard disk, the permanent storage location. When the user files the query, the data will be picked from the database, and the application layer is a layer where the data processing will happen depending on the user query or user requirement, right? So what happening in the traditional system, the moment the user access or request for the data will be transferred to the application layer. So how much of data transfer, that you don't know, only system knows. So if you see, there are so much of data will be transferred from the database layer to the application layer. It could be millions of data, it could be billions of data also. It means it is a bottleneck. So unnecessarily you are transferring unnecessary data from database layer to the application layer, which actually takes a long time. And at the same time, the data processing also will be delayed. That is the main bottleneck with the traditional systems. So with the concept of SAP HANA, the database itself, we are dealing with a RAM. So here the database layer is a RAM. We are keeping the data in the RAM itself. We are processing the data in the RAM itself. There is no more transfer of data from the database layer to the application layer. So that is the main advantage with the in-memory computing. So you are avoiding the data, directly processing the data in the RAM itself and only passing the results from the database layer to the presentation layer. So it means you are pushing down the logic to the database layer rather than processing the calculation part in the application layer. That is called in-memory computing. So when you are doing in-memory computing, the data processing will be drastically improved. That is one of the reasons why HANA gives the best performance. Let's talk about the second innovations, that is hardware innovations. So what do you mean by hardware innovation? What do you mean by hardware innovation, and how it is going to help HANA to improve the performance, data processing performance? because HANA meant for high performance analytical appliance. HANA is nothing but high performance analytical appliance. So I'll take Surendra. I'll take the questions. I'll give you the time. Okay. So HANA means for the processing of the data at the very high rate, right? So how this hardware innovations will help me to process the data at very high rate? Okay, let me take an example. Let me take an example in the real time when I am purchasing a laptop or desktop. So what I look for? Some people look for RAM. Some people look for um, hard disk, and some people look for number of cores. When I am looking for the RAM, why I am going for the higher RAM? Because it gives the best performance. Even though when I run so many applications in my system, the system will not hang because I have enough memory. So that's where HANA is having used amount of RAM to process the data, so that it gives the best performance while processing the data because we have enough RAM. That is one thing. The second thing is a cores. So if I say dual core processor laptop and quad core processor laptop, so which one gives the better performance? Obviously, quad-core processor system will give you the better performance because I have four cores are there in the CPU, so to process my entire applications, right? So in case if I apply the same technological thought to SAP HANA, HANA has hundreds of cores inbuilt within the hardware. HANA has hundreds of cores which are inbuilt within the hardware. So which will help us to do a parallel processing, which is nothing but multi-core architecture. HANA has a multi-core architecture which will help us to do a parallel processing when you are actually processing the data. So if you have only two cores, it takes a lot of time. When you have hundreds of cores, it takes very less time because these hundreds of cores will parallelly distribute the processing task, so that if it takes 10 minutes to process the data with the two cores, it takes 1 millisecond or 1 nanosecond with hundreds of cores. So that is what the hardware innovations with respect to HANA. So with the multi-core architecture and use size of RAM, so we process the data at very less time. So that is what the hardware innovations. So next innovations with respect to SAP HANA is software innovations. Software innovations. So we discussed in-memory technology, we discussed hardware innovation, and we are talking about software innovations. So what are the software innovations that help HANA to improve the data processing performance? When you fire a query, how these software innovations will help you to improve the query performance? Let's see. If you see any database, the data is stored in a table, right? So the table is a conceptual view of human beings, not to the computer. To the computer, the data resides in the continuous memory locations. The data resides in the continuous memory locations. So if it is a table, if you see there is a table here, the computer will store this table in the continuous memory locations based on the tuple. Each tuple will be stored in the continuous memory location. For example, the first tuple will be stored first, and then second tuple, and then third tuple. Tuple is nothing but a row. So why I'm talking this terminology? Because HANA stores the data in a different way. There is a concept called columnar database or columnar storage. Why I'm talking this columnar storage? Because HANA stores the data in columnar storage. So when you are storing the data in a columnar storage, how it stores the data is vertically. First, the first column will be stored, the second column will be stored, and then the third column will be stored. So what is the advantage of storing the data in a columnar fashion? Yeah, there is advantage like when you fire a query, the columnar database It is very easy to read the data from the columnar database, or very faster to read the data from the columnar database compared to the row-based storage. So why? So when you fire a query, actually what is happening in the background, you are actually reading the data from the table. So reading the data from the table, it takes very huge time when it is a row-based storage structure. Let's see how does it happens. See this in the row-based in the left side and the column-based at the right side. Let's imagine I have an employee table. I have an employee table or customer table. Let's say this is a customer table. In the customer table, when I'm trying to access the data, read the data from the row-based table, and I find a select query on this table, and I'm looking for a record called customer name equal to 1. Customer name equal to 1. Since a table is stored in a continuous memory locations, the traverser will start from the very first record until it hits the value customer name equal to 1. It means you are unnecessarily reading entire data in the table. Just imagine you have a table of 2 billion records and you are looking for 2 billionth record. If it is a row-based structure table, it will traverse 2 billion records to fetch the 2 billionth record in the worst case scenario. So it means the row-based tables are not so good to read the data. But if there is any mechanism for me to read the data faster way, yes, that is called columnar based. In the columnar based, if you are looking for the same record, customer name equal to 1, it will not traverse unnecessary records, but there is an indexing happens in each column. Directly it will hit, vertically it will traverse rather than horizontally, so that it will directly hit the customer name equal to 1 and it will pick up the corresponding record from the table. That is the advantage of columnar table. Even though if you are dealing with billions of records, or 1 billionth record or 2 billionth record, it takes very less time if it is a columnar based. Now the question here is, will HANA supports only columnar or row based also? Yes, HANA supports both. If you are interested for the row based, go for row based. If you are interested for the column based, where you are reading the data always, go for the column based. That's the reason why we are calling HANA as a hybrid database. HANA is a hybrid database because we can create a columnar tables as well as row based tables. Both the things are possible with respect to HANA. Now the question here is, when to use a row based table or when to use columnar table? Yeah. So when you are only storing the data but not reading the data from that table, go for row based table. If you are keep reading the data from the table, if you keep hitting the table by firing a query, then go for columnar table. So reading means columnar table, writing means row based table. Simple works. Yeah, so far we discussed what is HANA, why HANA is required for the business, HANA capabilities, in which we discussed in memory technology, and then we discussed hardware innovations and then software innovations. So these are the basic details about SAP HANA. So far I was telling like HANA is an in-memory based system, in-memory based database. Is this technology is completely new to SAP? No. No, it is not completely new to SAP. So the evaluation of SAP HANA, so the evaluation of in-memory computing was long way back to SAP. So it was in 1999 itself they introduced a product called APO, which is also a in-memory based system. In 2004 they come up with a product called T-Rex or Trex engine, which is also in-memory based. In 2006, they come up with a product called BWA, so which is related to the BW system, which is in-memory based technology. In 2010, they come up with a full-fledged in-memory system with a database and other functionalities called HANA, High Performance Analytic Appliance. Late 2010, they introduced this product. So the current version of SAP HANA is HANA SP9, Service Pack 9. Service Pack 9 is the latest version. So if you see the editions, I'm talking about the editions now. So what are the different kinds of editions that are available for SAP HANA? Like I'm a customer, so I want to leverage the features of SAP HANA in my business. So in that case, do I have any options available depending on my requirement? Yes, there are different licenses will be provided by the SAP. Currently, there are more than 15 editions are available. These are some basic editions I'm just showing you here. The platform edition, enterprise edition, and extended enterprise edition, depending on the user or business requirement. The platform edition is for the customers who need just the basic functionality of SAP HANA. So with this license, they won't get any features like ETL tools licenses or reporting licenses. For the customers who need ETL licenses as well, they'll go for Enterprise Edition, with which they will get licenses for HANA as well as ETL tools like DXC or VODS or SLT. Yeah. There is another edition called Extended Enterprise Edition or SAP HANA Solutions Edition, with which they will be getting the licenses for reporting as well. HANA, ETL as well as reporting, all the three. So most probably the new customers who want to leverage the features of all the features of SAP HANA with the ETL and reporting tools as well, they will go for HANA Solutions editions. So there are other editions also like SAP HANA powered BW powered by HANA. There are ECC Suite on HANA, SEM Suite on HANA, CRM Suite on HANA, HANA Live. There are so many editions are available depending on the customer requirement. So these are the editions which are available with respect to SAP HANA. Now, if you see, as I was mentioning earlier, the HANA cannot be installed in local systems or local desktops. There is a separate hardware designed for this. So who will be providing you hardware? SAP will provide you? No. SAP is not a hardware company. It's a software company, right? So then who will provide you the hardware? There are hardware vendors called HP, IBM, Fujitsu, Dell, Cisco. There are other 15 more, almost 15 hardware vendors are available. So these hardware vendors will provide you the hardware depending on your configuration. Let's say Walmart has a huge set of data so that they can go for a higher configuration. There is recently I can see a customer called Usha Fans. So this customer is very medium scale customer. They need very less configuration systems, so they can go for less configuration systems. So these hardware vendors will provide you different kinds of configurations. So as soon as the customers will purchase this hardware and install in their premises, the SAP HANA licenses will be provided by the SAP. And another important point here is SAP HANA cannot be installed in a Windows environment. There is an operating system called SUSE Linux environment or Red Hat. These are the two operating systems in which we can install SAP HANA, but not in but not in Windows environment. That is another important point. If you see what kind of projects that you can expect in the real time, so there are mainly four different kinds of projects that you can expect in the real time you will be working. Either standalone HANA project, BW on HANA project, or business suite on HANA. That business suite could be ECC on HANA or CRM on HANA or SEM on HANA. There is another a new concept called HANA Live. So there is a new version of HANA with a ERP version called S for HANA is coming up. So that is not yet completely released from SAP. So it is just in the initial stage. S for HANA. So if you see these projects, how does it looks like is standalone HANA means SAP HANA is installed as a sidecar. It means you have a source system separately and a HANA system separately for the analytical purpose. Through ETL tools, we would be replicating the data to the HANA database, and then we would be doing a modeling in this system. This is one kind of project. The another kind of project is BW on HANA system, in which the existing customer is already using BW system and they want to leverage the features of SAP HANA. In that case, they can plug in this HANA database to the BW. So that this kind of projects are called BW on HANA project. This is especially for the BW consultants and BW customers. Only BW consultants will be working here. And the business suite on HANA. Here, the source system itself is having underlying database as HANA. So ECC on HANA it could be CRM on HANA, or it could be SEM on HANA. So anything. And another kind of project is HANA Live. This is especially for operational reporting. So the business can directly install this HANA Live content in their business, and they can start, leveraging the features of HANA without any delay. It's just like installing some packages in their HANA system. So it is mainly for the operational reporting. This kind of project, HANA Live project, will take very less time to develop the model because it is all pre-built content will be available. SAP will provide the pre-built content, pre-delivered content. Like if you are familiar with the BI content, so it is something like that. Okay, so these are the different projects of SAP HANA that you can see here. Okay, and in this course we would be discussing the entire SAP HANA architecture. This is a little theoretical knowledge, SAP HANA architecture, and then practically we would be seeing the data provisioning. This is data provisioning. Here I would be discussing how we can load the data from the different sources into HANA using BODS, SLT, and flat file loading. And then we would be discussing HANA modeling. The entire training will be, revolved around this topic, HANA modeling. This is the heart of this training. Here I mentioned BODS. It means it is not complete BODS. Remember, it's not a complete BODS training. It is the knowledge on BODS, how we would be using BODS to replicate the data from ECC or any other source system to the HANA database. That we would be discussing. Yeah, similarly, we would be using SLT for the same replication purpose. And the HANA modeling, after that, I would be taking some time to spend some time for the reporting as well. BO reporting. Again, BO reporting is not a complete BO. So how you are going to consume HANA models in BO reports. That's what we are going to discuss. The entire course of training is SAP HANA modeling. How we are going to model the data, create the objects in the HANA. And for those who are actually familiar with the BW and HANA concepts, I will be taking for 2 classes at the end, 2 to 3 classes at the end. The entire course of the training would be 40 to 45 hours, but not the days. So it's not the days, it's hours. So it depends how many hours I'm taking every day. So if I take every day 1.5 hours, it will take 30 days. If I take 1 hour class every day and weekend classes also, it would be taking, depending on the number of hours I'm taking. The class timing would be morning 7:30 to 9 p.m. and the course content would be like this is the course content. In this, we would be discussing the first initial 2 days, the HANA introduction part, and then data provisioning using BODS and SLT. The Sybase replication we are not discussing because this we don't have infrastructure for that. I would be discussing SLT also. DXE we don't have infrastructure, so I will be discussing how DXE will work. And then this HANA modeling part would be the most important part for us. So almost 30 hours we would be spending on this HANA modeling part. These are the topics we would be discussing in the HANA modeling. Then once the HANA modeling is done, I would be taking some time for the security and authorization part as well. In HANA, how the security and authorizations concepts are defined, how you are going to access these models with the different privileges, that I am going to discuss. And at the end of the course, after 1 week, I would be taking a POC on HANA. So after the course, so I'm saying after the course. So it would be just 2 days. During the weekend, we would be discussing on POC. It's a sample project. It's just a sample project, like in the real time, how SAP HANA would be used in the real time environment. So don't expect that it's a live project. It is a sample project with 2 reports. And then BO also we would be discussing the so BO how we are going to consume the HANA models in the BO using different reporting tools, the creation of universe on the models and how to create a report on the HANA models that we would be discussing. If you see the entire course, the main heart of the course is a model, HANA model. So apart from this, we would be discussing BO and BODS. We would be touching upon those technologies as well. This is what from my end. So now you can ask any queries that you have. So I have a question. Sorry, someone asked me, Surendra, you asked some query. So you can ask me now. So let me unmute all of you. If anyone have queries, you can ask me. So any queries from anyone?
Uh, this is I have query regarding courses of
Your voice is not clear. Your voice is not clear. So can you please type what you are?
so differentiate between
Your voice is not clear. Can you please type? Hello. 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 Can you please type your question? Hello.
Yeah, I'm just typing.
Yeah. Now I can hear you.
You can you hear me now?
Yeah. Now I can hear you.
Okay. Uh,
Yeah. Please go ahead.
See, you said that this course is only for the HANA developer, not for the admin. So
Yes.
can you just tell me how it is differentiating between these two?
See, the administrator is responsible for installation and maintenance of the system and backup of the data and another monitoring task like especially installing the packages. It's pure basis guy, SAP basis person. It's a developer is someone who
Okay,
actually develops the model. It's a developer.
okay, got it. Yeah, got it. My second question is because I am from finance background
Okay.
and I am into finance and controlling and project systems
Mm-hmm.
from last 10 years.
Okay.
So can you just let me how I can utilize the HANA services?
Okay, so see, this is completely a technical background person can learn this.
Mhm.
So for the functional people who really want both the technical knowledge as well, in that case it will help. Since you are already having 10 years of experience, then if you want to move to technical side, yes, that in that case it will help you. But if you are not interested in technical side, then it will not help you.
No, I'm interested. I can be techno-functional as well. But my
Okay.
question is,
Hmm.
can I pick it up or it is something like coding or that kind of stuff?
Pardon, come again, please.
Okay, see, I'm interested in techno-functional, but
Okay.
is it is it too difficult? Like there is some kind of coding required, or any
Yeah.
functional person can pick it up?
Yeah, actually, this HANA is very easy tool compared to any other technology in SAP because it is a GUI based. Everything is a GUI
Okay,
based, so you are not going to write any coding here. But yes, there is a
okay,
little coding part as well that can be avoidable. Like as I said, basic SQL knowledge is required. So some cases, if business requirement is not met with GUI based models, in that case,
mhm.
we would be going for the scripted one. So in that case, little knowledge on SQL is required. Yes. If you are
Okay,
okay with that, yes, it is easy tool to learn.
and that SQL knowledge can be picked up by anyone, right?
Yes, yes. SQL is you can have a lot of sources, a lot of
Uh-huh.
blogs to help. It's not a big deal.
Okay, so
Mm.
as you said, it's not a big thing, or anyone can pick it up.
Yeah.
Now, so if I wanted course, so do I need to go through entire course, or is there some portion can be avoided, or something is only for the functional or
No,
techno-functional kind of
no.
things?
Here in SAP HANA, we don't have any something like techno-functional or only for the functional here. It is purely
Okay.
HANA is a technical guy can learn. This can be
Uh-huh.
applicable to any functional module, be it MM, be it
Okay.
SD or any module. So if you know the technology,
Okay.
how it works, so you can apply this technology to any module. That's what the flavor of SAP HANA. It's like a
Okay.
BW, like where BW, if you are familiar with the BW, SAP BW, within BW you would be using different modules.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Correct.
it's the same thing here as well.
Okay.
If the customer need a reports on MM module, you work with the MM module in
Mhm.
HANA. Similarly, if the customer is related to the retail module, so you would be working with the retail module. Yeah,
Okay. Good. Thanks.
yeah,
I think you answered my question.
yeah. And any other questions from anyone? Let me check. Okay, someone asked me hybrid database row and column. Surendra asked me this question. Yeah, hybrid database, the word I'm using this because it is a combination of both row based and column based. That's why we are calling it as a hybrid. There is no something like hybrid. It's just a word I used because it is a combination of we can create either of these two types of tables or structures. That's why I used it. If I say Oracle, it supports only row based storage structure, but not the column based. Some databases are there, it supports only column based, but not the row based. But HANA, unlikely, it supports both. That's why we are calling it as a hybrid database. Yeah, read and write. Why I'm saying here is, so columnar tables are more useful to read the data. Read is nothing but accessing the data. Writing is nothing but inserting the data. If you are more probably, if you are every time you are inserting the data rather than reading the data, go for row-based table. So you are not actually writing any queries on that table. You are just inserting the data into the table. So create a row-based table because row-based tables are more helpful, more useful to insert the data, but not to read the data. If your requirement is to read the data, to access the data, so in that case, go for columnar tables. So that is that clear, Surendra? Your query? So today's class actual motto is to make you understand what is HANA. That's it. and what are the different capabilities and why it is required for the business. So this is what today's today's objective of the class. I don't want you to go into the technical details for today's class. So if you are fine with that, yes, fine. The next class onwards, we would be starting with the architecture part and the more details about SAP HANA.